49-year-old Daniel Allen Aldrich is accused of killing his girlfriend, 38-year-old Julianne Sanetra. The incident occurred on the night of Sunday the 20th of October at his home at 1943 Maple Avenue in Costa Mesa, California. Authorities said that Daniel strangled Julie and slit her wrists with a folding knife after an argument following a night of drinking. Daniel then left her body on the couch, watched TV and then went to bed. The following day, Daniel dragged Julie's body outside to the backyard and stuffed her into a trash can. He then packed a bag and drove to his mother's home in the 3700 block of El Lardo Drive in Glendale. At around 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 22nd of October, landscapers called police after they discovered Julie's body partially outside the trash can when they arrived at Daniel's residence to mow the lawn. Later that day, officers arrested Daniel at his mother's residence without incident. Daniel's charged with 1 felony count of murder and 1 felony enhancement of the personal use of a weapon. He remains held at the Orange County Jail on a $1 million bail. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer said that Julie Sanetra did not deserve to be strangled and stuffed into a trash can like a piece of garbage. The callousness of this crime shocks the conscience, and will do everything to get justice for Julie and her loved ones, he said. A Louisiana man has been arrested after he made terrorizing remarks outside a makeup store in Opelika, Alabama. At around 10 a.m. on Saturday the 19th of October, an Ulta Beauty employee overheard 42-year-old Timothy Lincoln threaten, "I'm gonna blow this shit up," while on the phone outside the business. The employee notified a manager and the store was evacuated. Police rushed to the scene and took Lincoln into custody. At some point prior to being handcuffed, Timothy found markers and paint and covered his face with the materials. Timothy was charged with making a terroristic threat and was banned from Ulta for life. He's currently being held at Lee County Detention Center on a $100,000 bond. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Daycare worker 24-year-old Jasmine Collum has been arrested for abusing an infant boy, causing severe brain and retinal damage. At around 11 p.m. on Wednesday the 16th of October, authorities responded to McLean Children's Hospital in Temple, Texas for a welfare concern regarding a 3-month-old child. Upon arrival, officers learned that the infant had arrived at Ignite Learning Academy in Temple for daycare at around 8 a.m. that morning. At around 4 p.m, the child began showing unusual lethargy, and medics transported the child to hospital for medical care. Police reviewed video footage inside the daycare center before medics were called, which showed Jasmine picking the infant up in her left arm, swinging and bouncing him in a forceful manner, causing him to flop around like a rag doll. Jasmine then put the infant in a bouncer and placed her hands on both sides of the bouncer and aggressively bounced him so his head and shoulders were thrown back and forth. She put her feet on the bouncer and shook it aggressively until the infant fell over sideways. She then pulls the child back up by his head and resumes shaking the bouncer with her feet and starts pushing her foot forcefully on the child's chest. In one instance, Jasmine is seen picking up the child and slamming him back down into the bouncer so hard that the chair in the back of the child's head appeared to hit the concrete floor. Jasmine picks him up again and roughly strikes his back, and places the child back into the bouncer and continues to bounce with her foot until the boy appeared limp and unresponsive. She then reported his condition to the daycare director, who called emergency medical services. Doctors said the infant had a brain bleed and hemorrhages in both his eyes. On the evening of Tuesday the 22nd of October, Jasmine was arrested and booked into the Bell County Jail on a charge of injury to a child. On Saturday the 26th of October, she was released on a $125,000 bond. 38-year-old Charles Leggett is behind bars for fatally shooting liquor store cashier 26-year-old Jamil Owais over a pizza argument. At 11:50 a.m. on Saturday the 19th of October, Charles ordered a pizza from Jamil at Action Food and Liquor at 3455 North Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, then walked back to where the food was being prepared by another person. Surveillance footage from inside the store captured Charles arguing with Jamil before pulling out a gun and firing a single shot into Jamil's chest. Charles then ran out of the store and drove a black 2010 Nissan Sentra to a friend's house. Police said another employee heard the fight and a gunshot and called 911 after finding Jamil unconscious behind the counter. Jamil died at the scene, and a 9mm bullet casing was found in a candy box on the checkout counter. Hours later, police tracked down the Nissan that Charles had travelled in by searching license plate reader cameras and arrested him at an apartment several miles away in West Juneau Avenue. A search of the apartment uncovered a 9mm handgun, and a search of the Nissan uncovered a pair of Crocs-style shoes that appeared to be the ones the shooter was wearing at the convenience store. During questioning, Charles told investigators he went to the store to buy a pizza and noticed an employee was making pizza without wearing gloves, so he told the cashier Jamil to have the pizza remade because it was unsanitary, which led to an argument. Charles admitted he shot the cashier one time, ran out of the store and drove to a friend's house and did not tell anyone what happened. He identified himself in the surveillance video and confirmed the gun found was the one that he used. He also said he never saw Jamil with a weapon. Mohammed Owais, owner of Action Food and Liquor, said his brother Jamil was watching the store for him while he ran errands. Charles was charged with reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon and possessing a firearm as an out-of-state felon. Authorities said that Charles was previously convicted in dealing in heroin in 2006 in Illinois. Charles remains held in the Milwaukee County Jail on a $200,000 cash bond. A 32-year-old man is behind bars for raping a child in Pierre Part, Louisiana. The investigation began on the 13th of September, after the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office received a complaint about inappropriate sexual acts committed on a young girl by a man. A forensic interview of the victim was conducted, at which time Drew Michael Sparks was identified as the suspect who raped the juvenile victim. Through investigation, authorities said they secured additional evidence of inappropriate sexual contact by Drew upon the victim. On the evening of Wednesday, the 24th of October, officers arrested Drew and charged him with first-degree rape of a person under the age of 13. He remains held at the Assumption Parish Detention Centre without bond. A woman is behind bars for deliberately throwing her toddler daughter off a hotel balcony, killing her. At around 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday, the 23rd of October, authorities responded to the 3300 block of 59th Street in Galveston, Texas on reports of an abandoned child. When police and medics arrived, they found a toddler unresponsive and bleeding on the side of the road. Medics attempted to revive the girl, and she was transported to the trauma center of a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. The child was identified as 17-month-old Hannah Yonko. Authorities said that her 30-year-old mother Chanel Yonko intentionally threw her daughter from the balcony of the Beachfront Palms Hotel. Surveillance video from the hotel captured Chanel throwing Hannah from the third floor onto the grass below, and then rolling onto the concrete sidewalk. Investigators said that Hannah had injuries consistent with a fall and several puncture wounds on her back. A trash bag containing a knife and a hotel room key were found nearby. The bag found in the hotel's parking garage also contained plastic sand toys, unused diapers and unopened kids' snacks. Investigators interviewed the suspect's sister Mercedes Yonko at the police department. She told them that she and her sister and her niece were sharing a room at the Beachfront Palms Hotel. Mercedes said that Chanel had come to Galveston to visit her, and they were getting ready to check out of the motel. Her sister said she briefly left to meet a fiancé at the Victoria Hotel, and left her sister and niece at the Beachfront Palms Hotel. Mercedes said that Chanel eventually showed up at the Victoria Hotel pushing a stroller. She told investigators that she didn't see Hannah in the stroller, but had no reason to believe she was not in it. When Mercedes told Chanel that she could not find her fiancé and that they should go back to their hotel to pick up their luggage, Chanel told her not to go back to their room. Chanel was arrested and charged with capital murder and remains held at the Galveston County Jail with no bond. A man in Carbondale, Pennsylvania is behind bars after he severely shook his 1-month-old infant daughter who later died. The baby's father, 23-year-old Chase Hawley, is charged with aggravated assault, simple assault and endangering the welfare of a child, and may face additional charges pending the outcome of an autopsy. Chase admitted to police he harmed his infant daughter Ceclilia Hawley while trying to feed her on the morning of the 15th of October. Chase was left alone with the infant after her mother Krista Rossetti left for work. Chase told police that around 8 a.m. that morning, he tried feeding Ceclilia but she cried and would not take the bottle. He said he became frustrated and he forced the bottle into the girl's mouth, drawing blood. He then admitted to shaking the girl multiple times. He demonstrated to police on how he did so using a loaf of bread and a teddy bear. The baby went pale and limp, and Chase said he tried running the little girl a bath but she did not react to the water. She did not respond to another attempt at feeding her either. Chase waited another 20 to 30 minutes before calling 911 because he was afraid of what might happen. The baby was hospitalized and examined by doctors. Physicians told investigators that the baby suffered an acute head injury and the prognosis was not good. On the 18th of October, Ceclilia died. Chase remains held at the Lackawanna County Jail on a $100,000 bond. The investigation into the matter continues.